How are you going to enforce your rights? You do it through the rules of civil procedure. That's what they're set up for God's sake. I've just explained what civil means. Isn't that a big aha for people? So then why are people so frightened of learning the rules of civil procedure?
Hey guys, it's Gavin here from Sovereign Empowerment. I'm joined once again. It's either going to be that way or that way with Damian. Damian's been busy. Lots of things he's been doing. Lots of things he's been shutting down as well. So we've got a few things to go through. But as per, I think our conversations, they flow in lots of different directions. But the headline is we're going to start off with our rights. Okay, legislation as pertains to our rights, how we express that properly. We'll touch on council tax with that. Damian's been dealing with a well-known utility company, so we're going to go into that in a lot of detail. And then depending on where we go with this, we're going to talk about constitutional law, what books to get for that, family law, because Damian's been having a bit of fun with that stuff, with some success, obviously, maybe into town planning, how to shut down all of these different planning applications these councils get into, but especially 5G masts, whether they're already up or if they're looking to put them up. Very easy to do. So Damian, welcome back, my friend. How you been?
Hello. Incredibly busy. And be careful what you wish for, because it's ironic that you and I were talking about the powers of manifestation in one of our previous series, and it appears I managed to manifest through just showing you on public record a couple of family law books, which led to 2 family law cases, which I've had great success with. So I'm very pleased about that. And it was a fantastic learning journey. So I'll talk in some length about that. But I've just had a very, very pleasant experience, obviously for your awake audience. Just literally, I'm currently dealing with a certain water utility company. Now, they put in a county court claim against me. So because I understand the rules of civil procedure, I hit them immediately with a lovely defence that they can't rebut any of the points, and a counterclaim, and also at part 18.1b, asking for something that I know they don't have. So I've put them in a very, very difficult position. Now, I've just had to serve them through process of service my N180 form, because I'm taking it down a different track. I'll explain this in more detail, and I will explain to those that are still frightened of using the rules of civil procedure, even though the courts were set up for us, and the private society, the Bar Guild, have circumnavigated the rule of law. But I will teach you with constitutional law how you can affect a breach of the rule of law, as per Professor A.V. Dicey, who the law lords, the House of Lords, reference in all of their Supreme Court rulings. You've got to understand, it's not just case law. You have to use the law scholars, the references of the law scholars that our law lords use. So when I'm contesting, when I'm putting in an argument, a defense, a claim, I will use the legislation they are bound by and the specific sections. I will find the appropriate case law. Now, your best reference for that is a free site, because Lexus and what have you will charge you, and they don't like to deal with litigants in person. So it's called Bailey, Bailli, and that's the British and Irish legislation case law. And it's an excellent reference everything you need. So you support what you're saying with the legislation, the case law, and reference the law scholars. Now, I would recommend 3 books, and this will also help the common law nuts that don't understand the common law, right? 1, Professor A.V. Dicey. This is the law of the Constitution, but you can also buy the rule of law and common law pleadings. This is the man. This is who the law lords reference. For people to get an understanding of the common law, which is practices and customs unwritten. Okay, but now they've been codified into statute, and it's finding where they are, where they've been blended in, and pulling them out, which I've done in a family law case, and I will show you in the draft order that I had to submit to the court, which had the success of negating a solicitor who was trying to stop a child arrangements order. Well, she was unable to, because at the end of the day, the legal advisors who advise the magistrates, this is where the paperwork goes. I sent as per the table, the index, the table of case statements and summary, they required from my son a draft order. So that's basically asking us, telling us, what do we want? We have to order the court. You have to move the court. The court is a static instrument. Okay. You have to move it. Now, we give a draft order. In America, they motion the court, but it's the same thing. So I submitted the draft order with a statement of truth in the form of an affidavit, jurat, and you can look those up, which we had signed by an officer of the court. This is another thing people need to understand. We are the lawyers, the litigants in person. We are the lawyers. The solicitors, the registered bar-toting, card-carrying individuals are court officers. We are lawyers. They are court officers. And that's how they've circumnavigated the rule of law and the public court system. And it's up to us to hold them to the rules. Right, I'm jumping around a bit. So Matthew Hale, The History of the Common Law of England. Okay, that will give people a good understanding. Thirdly, another great source of understanding the common law, the commentaries on the laws of England, William Blackstone. Okay, and the common law principles come into interpreting statute because they follow rules and principles. That's why you've got to learn the canons, and I will get into that a little bit further down the line. Now, I've had to use the process of service. So I've sent my M180 copy. I'll be emailing to the Lincoln County Court, which is my local court, and I've sent next day, so that'll arrive Monday, signed for, to this utility company, direct to the litigation paralegal who contacted me yesterday. Now, the interesting thing, just on a side note, as I walked into to this little post office cum shop, this little community shop, it's lovely. I was looking around, I was admiring or gesticulating at the disgraceful sky art I was seeing this morning. They've been at it non-stop. Now, if you want to understand what narcissism is, it's man's urge to control natural weather. I can't think of anything more narcissistic. When you just take a step back and think about that, your tax-paid money through a United Nations directive, right, laid out in the geoengineering report of 2009-2010 that you can get from www.parliament, okay, and the Parliamentary Committee. This is not a conspiracy. They explain what they're doing. but it's not really had public disclosure, has it? I've had to find that, but it gives me huge credibility when I have the conversation I had in the post office this morning, which is wonderful because you realize A, that people are awake, and B, then I was waking up those people around me because this fella was watching me, looking up and cursing. It was just line upon line upon line. And it's like, my huge grievance with this is the people flying those planes. At what point do they not ask the question, sir, what is in those chemical vats in the back of our planes that we're spraying over civilian populations? What is in that? Is it safe? Why are people not asking those questions? But it goes back to the same thing. I was just following orders. It's my job. It's not your job to violate the health and the rights of the population. The taxpayers' money is funding you. The minute you take money from the public purse, you are liable. And I explained this at the court at Chelmsford to the usher, and he agreed. At the end of the day, they know this. They're not used to people holding their feet to the fire when they tried to keep me out of the court.
This was for the family case, wasn't it?
Yes, but when you know your rights, you get to a point on this law journey where everything clicks. Now, I've come out of a group that has a very credited individual that really knows the law, knows how to litigate, but unfortunately, his specific group has just descended into the madness of all these groups where you get these people come in and they just talk utter bollocks. I had this fella trying to tell me that a family court was a court of maritime law. And I said, look, just take a step back. This is patriot mythology. This is this strawman nonsense. This has been perpetuated by 3-letter agencies this side of the shore and the opposite side of the shore for 30 years to disempower you, to sow the seeds of discord in your heart, to stop you doing what you should be doing. Okay? And just drilling down on the rules of civil procedure. And then when you get proficient, the rules of criminal procedure, so you can prosecute and indict these fucking morons that we call public servants. Okay? Sorry, guys, I do swear that's common parlance. Okay? That's me, and I am sovereign, so I am true to myself, and I won't tone that down just to appease the odd comment. This is who I am. Okay? But I give you that with my love. Anyway, that aside, always stay true to yourself.
On that note, can I just interject very quickly?
Yes.
Because you were talking about right. This is perfect for the rights bit. So can we segue that into our rights? So,
right.
So people that have never seen you before, never seen one of these videos before, let's just start at the very beginning. What are our rights? What does that even mean?
Right. You'll love this. People are frightened of the word civil. They immediately assume Roman, okay? Without any understanding that a perfect system was set up for us to use. And the system was set up so that we could hold government and our public servants accountable, not by sending 7 notices, 10 notices, and then not enforcing them. You use the court to enforce your rights. Now, I'm going to take you back to 1688. Okay? Those people understood their rights. There was a time, let's go over to America, for example, where if there was an issue, they'd be out with their guns. Okay? And they'd pack the government official back on the train. They knew how to enforce their rights, whether it be through law or whether it's through getting together and giving somebody a horsewhipping. Okay? That's the way it was. Now, we have a perfect court system. People don't know how to engage with it. Now, I walk the walk and I have success after success for two reasons. A, I follow the law. If it's not written in the black and white letter of the law, then it's not so. And the second thing that you're going to come up against is public servants quote the law, but they misapply that statute to you. They don't know how to interpret the statute. And that goes right back. These were set in common law principles, and I will show you, I'll come on to this. But in the Coronation Oath Act, and this is important because the highest ranking public servants signed on to this. And it expressly says that the people, okay, have their spiritual and civil rights and properties protected within this statute. Okay. The statutes, laws, and customs said around all the people. I've immediately skipped inhabitants because that's the member of a corporation. So people, we are the sovereign people and we have to become sovereign individuals. Now it says spiritual and civil rights and properties. Now, everything that's happening to you people is a violation of your civil rights, and therefore you need to be filing civil rights complaints. And then when you get the win, back that into a criminal complaint because they're always breaking criminal statutes. Okay? People have to get organized. This is simple, right? So let's have a look at civil. What does civil mean? Civil means relating.
Sorry, I don't know if that was a question for me or not. Sorry.
No. This is nobody seems to address this. It's the meaning of the word. Sorry. Civil. I was just pausing for effect.
Okay.
Right. Civil means, and you're like this, Gavin, and this is so overlooked. You're going to get a massive penny drop moment here. Civil means relating to private rights and remedies.
I didn't
Let's try
actually
it
know
again.
that, but that's pretty big. Say it
Civil,
again.
civil means relating to private rights and remedies sought by civil actions. So then why are people so frightened of learning the rules of civil procedure? How are you going to enforce your rights? You do it through the rules of civil procedure. That's what they're set up for God's sake. I've just explained what civil means. Isn't that a big aha for people? So now let's have a look. What is a civil action? An action brought to enforce, redress, or protect private rights. There we go. And
That's it.
it's in this fucking statute. What do you think?
Well, that's it, isn't it? That's all you need. And then you need the mechanism to sue, which is tort.
You got it. Right, we can end it there. But no, I've got lots more to talk about. But do you see how simple that is?
Yeah, obviously it's simple. Yeah.
But people have been frightened to look at what they need to do. Gavin, I know you had these. Guys, you've got to buy these. Civil litigation. This is what all the solicitors use. And it's so simple. This is your, where's my other one? Right. Oh, I've got an earlier one here. I've got the 20 to 21 there. This is what all the solicitors use. Those two books, you can pick them up, 5-6 quid a pop. World of books, second hand, and you find a lot of the solicitors, the lawyers leave notes in there that are very useful. You've got no excuse not to buy them. And the amount of people that have reached out to me that I've said, look, before I talk to you, you have to read these books. You have to buy these. They read them and they go, fun, and they don't even need to ask me. because it's
That,
all there, even down to drafting. You've got letter templates in there, the letter before claim, letter before action. It's all there. I wish I'd bought these 3 years ago.
to start with,
Would-
yeah,
It would have
exactly.
saved me a lot of heartache.
Yeah, you're right. But by the way, Damian bought me some those books as well, as a little surprise, and he got some used ones, full of notes from law students that have gone through it. The templates are in there, and I've been doing this for a while, but you get so many other penny drop moments because you never know it all. You're always constantly learning and digging and researching and putting things together, learning by mistakes, etc. But those books have actually kind of helped solidify a lot of the things that I've been doing and clear up some foggy areas. So I can definitely advise getting them. So really, what we're saying is get your head around the constitutional statutes, the Bill of Rights, understand what that really means, get into the civil procedure rules, get your head around tort law, contract law. What else would you suggest to get into, first of all, if you're just coming at this
Well,
brand new?
I would, yeah, everything you've said there, but I would get, before I would recommend A.V. Dicey, Law of the Constitution, and those two CPR books, CPR litigation. Yeah, there's your manual there. It's like playing Monopoly and you can't find the manual. You've never played it.
Yeah.
You know,
And
and then
would your advice, just a quick one on that, just I want to clear this up for people. Would your advice be that in any given situation that we're faced with, it's council tax, doesn't really matter, whatever it is, that that your target is always the individual and not the big company, corporation that they hide behind, because it's those individuals, especially the public servants, that are liable. They're trying to take some money from you.
it's really this simple. They can't do to you what I can't do to you.
There you go. Because we're all equal under the law. No one
There
beats
you
them
go.
above it.
I couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly that. So people say the council, well, what is the council? It's a legal construct on paper. It's two-dimensional and it's also a building. And it's an empty building without the people that work within it. And it's those people that are the instruments of your grief, your pain. So, and you look no further than property rights and civil right violations. That's it. That's what they're doing. You now know that that civil is relating to private rights. And when you bring a civil action, it's an action brought to enforce, redress, or protect your private rights. People don't even know they have rights. Okay. Now, with regard to rights, these people, the public servants, are mistrained and they are violating your rights. Okay. But they can't take your rights. And what they are asking of you, they're saying, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? And this is why you have to learn to litigate, because you hit them with a tort letter and then a suit. What did I do with this specific water utility? I haven't paid them for 2 years. Am I going to pay for a service I've not contracted with, I've not asked for, and I certainly do not require, because I buy bottled water from source and I know exactly where I'm getting that water. I've done the research and I've spoken with the company and it's good water, right? I am not going to pay for chlorinated. Think about that. Chlorinated water. They put chlorine in your water under sanitation. Well, think what chlorine gas was used for in the First World War. It's insane. Fluoridated, that's a heavy metal byproduct, giving everyone neurological diseases at this time, dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and chlorine in your water. Now, that is just two things. Right. And as I explained to this company, that under the common law, there's the common law. And I explained the common law contract that they don't have. And I've worked through everything. I put the fact they were bringing in rem action against private property without right, title, or ownership interest.
just a quick one, if I may. This
Yeah.
lady that I'm just interested because I'm curious. I've seen the paperwork, by the way, guys. It's brilliant, and we'll go through that now. But when that lady spoke to you and you're expressing this stuff back to her, given that she's this head of legal, was it anything that she was aware of, or was it going over her head?
Oh, you brought me into this, and I'll give you the numerology as well. It was unbelievable. I had this phone call out of the blue. Right. That was yesterday. And funny enough, the way that I'm going, basically what's happened for your audience, because I haven't paid out of principle for a service I don't require, I haven't asked for, I haven't consented to, and because I can call, look, they, the whole purpose of what they do is that you have no earthly idea how to call out the fraud. And they're doing the same thing with councils in cahoots with kangaroo courts, i.e. hiring out a venue within the public court venue at the magistrates. That's another matter. Now, so they put in a claim against me in the county court for 2 years of unpaid, right? Expecting me just to basically receive this and to my pants. Right. Well, that wasn't going to happen because I immediately looked at the claim and pulled it apart and found a minimum 5 deficiencies within the claim. Okay. So what was my course of action? It was to defend the claim and counterclaim. Now that's caused them a real fucking problem. And I'll tell you why, because they can't refute anything on my defense, anything. And they cannot point for point rebut anything I put in the counterclaim. And I've also used CPR, the rules of civil procedure, to ask for something that they would have to produce to the court that I know they don't have. And it just destroys their claim. Right. But I've given them a way out. So I can go through what was said and what I've done if that would be of interest.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. Okay. Right. First, the conversation. So let's get on to that. I had their. You've got to understand that it's not the solicitor you're dealing with. You're dealing with their head of litigation, paralegal. So I had this lovely lady ring me yesterday, and I had no problem speaking with her at all. And I knew what was going on. She was feeling me out. Okay. But what was lovely was to come away from that phone call and be on completely the same level. And I put them on a level pegging because what I did, the original claim was put in at Northampton, and I built up a real rapport with the people that work there. I make it my business too. So I was speaking with the backroom staff, the clerks. Okay. You get these people on site, they know everything about procedure, everything. Glean that knowledge, get them on side. And I was speaking with a lovely lady. I rang her 3 times and we were really discussing a lot of things with procedure. Now, I think they've inadvertently, I'd like to think that they really purposely helped me. And I'll tell you why. Because now I'm going to use a number here. And when I say this number, I don't want to be accused of being a Freemason or some other, this degree or that degree, right? I've been down those rabbit holes, okay? And I work with and for the 67%, okay, that remained in heaven, all right? So before we get any silly asses making silly comments, right? But I pulled this up with the lady. When I put in my additional defense and counterclaim and the N9B form to do that, got to follow procedure. Honestly, I know I'm making it sound simple. It really is this simple. So because that's only 2 pages, the court form, I then put in another 8 pages, which is an additional defense form and counterclaim. Okay. So I had 14, I got extension, I had 20 days to do this, which I did. Filed it on that last day, as you do. And then I spoke with my friend, one of the backroom clerks, and I said, "So how long have they got to answer that?" And she said, 33 days. I said, "Oh, there's that number." I said, "That's a funny number, isn't it?" Okay. Now we understand about the 33-degree. We've been down those rabbit holes, understand what they are. Okay. Um, and she said, yeah, funny that I've not really thought about it because they look at everything in increments of 14 and 28. So you're like this. This is where the numerology comes in because she rang me yesterday and said the court haven't given us the additional defence and counterclaim paperwork. I said, oh, really? I said, well, it's funny. I said, I've just got your case file open, a minute. And I said, I've got my old CPR books out. I said, oh, what, the big white book? I went, yeah, yeah. I said, I had to reference, I was really giving it to her. I said, I had to reference because it's normally me that's suing people. And she just went quiet. I said, but this time I just had to brush up on my defence counterclaim. And she went quiet again. And I said, so what appears to be the problem? She said, well, the court have given us that form, the 2-page form, but they've not given us the additional, okay, which is my comprehensive defence and counterclaim, point for point, which they need to obviously do anything with. Now, I know this is going to stop this dead anyway. She would have read this and gone, we've got a real problem here. So, and the reason they've got a problem is not this ego or confidence, it's because I followed the rules and I understand the game. And I know that they can't counter what I've said and they can't provide evidence of what I'm saying. They've got a real problem. So I'm just holding them to the rules. So basically, I said, look, I've got no problem sending you the PDF. You can print it off at your end. And I said, while you're on, because I've got your case open, I said, I've got the EX form and I've got, I think it's N149. It's a mediation and small claims track where you can fast track this process, which I decided at this juncture, it would be beneficial to me because I know in the 1-hour mediation, I'm going to put across all I need to do is say, look, you can't defend my claim and you can't answer my defense and you haven't got what I've asked for under CPR 18.1B. So just pay me what I've asked and you're not going to incur any more legal fees. Take me off your customer database, perpetuity. That agreement will be legally binding because it will be set in stone at the mediation. And they've got off lightly because I could have got a load of previous payments. I could have sued them for big money. So they'll know. And this is what this is. It's get this done, get paid, get me off their database. They won't bother. They'll continue going for the low hanging fruit. Okay. So I can then free up the time because I've got a lot of other things going on. Okay. So I fired off the PDF and I had 3 different addresses for them. Now she's given me her direct line, her direct address, but now send everything to. So it works both ways. And we had a lovely conversation. And she now knows because she was feeling me out. She's got somebody on her level. And once she then reads through what I've submitted, they know they've got a problem. So just know this, I've been at this for 3 years. You can all do it. And I don't want to hear victimhood because I've had this in groups where people say, oh, it's all right for you. You're intelligent. It's like off. Don't you dare project your fucking victimhood on me. You fucking minge, right? Pull your head out your ass, grow up. If you can fucking read and write, you can do this. And I say this with love. Because we need you. We need you to do this. We want you to do this and we want you to succeed. This is why I'm here, helping, getting you guys to pull your fucking heads out of your asses and simply read. We're giving you the fast track to doing this, getting you away from all the other shit that the 3-letter agencies have perpetuated, right? And took people away from actually empowering themselves and understanding what words mean, right? And doing this for real. I fucking walk the walk. Use my language. But I am sovereign and I know how to protect and enforce my rights. And I know what my rights are. And I want you guys to have the same mindset. I left school with 2 GCSEs. For fuck's sake, I can read and write. so I can do this. And I said, I will not be a victim. I will never be a victim. Okay. And I will be better than they are. Because what you have to understand, it's not just the public servants, these solicitors, they do 4 to 5 years of law school. Then they get into a practice and all that goes out the window. Why? Because their superiors say, no, we don't do it like that. They shortcut everything. They don't follow procedure, which means when you understand the procedures, when you've read the procedures, you can hold them to it, which is why I was able to pull apart their claim, because they had so many deficiencies in it. What does that mean? It means it was laid out incorrectly. What they were saying was incorrect. Yes, this is not hard. It's not hard, but don't be a victim. Oh, I can't. I've got a guy that's reached out to me. He does 15 hours a day as a courier, and then has his 5-year-old when he gets home, and he's doing the jurisdictionary course, and he listens to law podcasts all day long, processing, letting it sink in. This is what we need. That's no excuse. Sorry, Gavin.
No. I just want to kind of just round off what Damian's saying there, because it is actually, he might sound harsh, but he's saying that with love. And it is the truth, because even you watching this now might be saying, well, I'm not a victim. I'm not like that. And you might be getting angry, right? Don't get triggered. Listen to the words. This whole thing about succeeding at this is just mindset. It's just switching your perspective, and don't give yourself excuses. So if the first thing that's coming to your head is, oh, I can't do that because of X, Y, Z, or I've got this, or I've got no time. There's your excuses. You're making excuses, right? We all have the same amount of time in a day. We've all got our lives going on. Damian's got more time than I've got, but I don't make excuses. I don't say, well, I can't do it, because I'm on phone calls a lot. I'm on Zoom calls a lot with people, and I have a family. But you make your time. You have to be disciplined with the time you allocate to doing this, because ultimately, if you're not doing this and you're not obsessed with learning this, you're going to get run over.
Yeah, Gavin, I mean, we say this, but I'm a single parent to 2 children. One's very special needs. I grow my own food. I keep 11 chickens. I have to do the housework, the cleaning, the laundry, the shopping, deal with 2 schools. I'm pulling one out actually in homeschooling.
Can I just quickly come in and say, I didn't mean to say you've got more time than me. That
No.
came out completely wrong.
I know what you're
Damon's a
saying.
busy guy. I'm trying to say it's about, you have to be disciplined with your time. You have to make the time. You have to block it out, and that's the time when you do it. And like the other guy that you've mentioned, if the audio, like every spare minute, you should be consuming this stuff. It's always going to be even if you listen, I have audio stuff. Like when I'm typing away doing things, I'll have audio going through at the same time. Not because I'm consciously trying to remember everything. I just know it's seeping into my subconscious. And at some point that will be recalled. You just got to be obsessed with it. Change your mindset and just take some action. Just get on with it. And don't be scared of losing or fucking things up. They're your biggest lessons. Sorry, mate.
No. Well, I wasn't pulling you. That was for your audience. To say, look, we're all busy guys, and that's been done by design. And this isn't taught in school, because your way of controlling government and controlling local government of public servants is through the court system, right? And the rules of civil procedure, and then taking it up a notch to the rules of criminal procedure, indicting people and prosecuting. But then that's the next stage. Just to say, I mean, success. On one of our earlier series, we did a massive section on an unlawful PCN. Do you remember? Now, just
I
to
certainly
say,
do.
3 months has passed and they haven't pursued it. Okay, they were sent a tort letter outlining the criminality, outlining the facts in law, the black and white letter of the law, and then ripping apart the statute, the secondary legislation they were using, and showing how it being misapplied to me. Okay, and this is where statutory interpretation is very important. Now, you're like this. I've heard nothing, and I tell you why, because they've silently withdrawn. Right? Which you and I were having a laugh. I said, well, I can't sue them now, because they haven't pursued it. I can't sue them unless they pursue the fine, but they're not going to. What they have done is the legal maxim. He who leaves the field of battle first loses by default. That's what they've done. They've silently withdrawn. They're not going to send me a letter saying, you're correct. We agree with everything you've said, because I could be petty and sue them still for the tort of trespass to property, because the very action of the warden sticking something, right, unwarranted, unasked for, and unlawfully on the windscreen of my car. And I explained this in another council car park with 3 people talking. And I interjected. One was saying, oh, okay, yeah, we're going to have to get a ticket. I've got to find out. And I said, well, you should sue them. They said, oh, well, I said, well, it's illegal. And I said, you've just read the Bill of Rights. And I said, it's another constitutional statute. It protects your rights. And there is a legal process. You cannot be fined unless a conviction has been sought in a court of law. That's called the rule of law, due process of law. And they said, oh, I said, look. And then they were youngsters. I said, who owns this car park? So they looked at me and they looked at each other. And this is what I like to do, engage people and get them thinking. They said, the council. I said, okay, who funds the council? They said, we do. I said, you got it. I said, therefore, who owns this car park? And the guy smiled. He said, we do. I said, so why are you paying? It clicked, boom, and off they went, laughing and talking about it together. And this is what we have to do. They had that aha moment.
It is actually quite simple, isn't it? When you think about it, the whole subversion and the inversion that they've done on us. You can even get into trust law with this stuff, can't you? With the councils, it's all an implied trust. They are the trustees. We are the beneficiaries. We, the people, are the beneficiaries in this system, and the whole thing's been flipped on its head. But to Damian's point with the PCN, and actually, I've got a question for you. I know the answer, but there's a lot of people that are aware now, of the Bill of Rights and grants of forfeitures, excuse me, and before conviction, etc. And one of the common things that these councils come back with is saying that, well, that's all well and good, but this is a civil matter. And we're doing this under, so conviction applies to criminal. This is a civil matter. And we're doing this under the Road and Traffic Act or whatever legislation they're using. And they're like, oh, what do I do now? Like, what do you, because the idea of this, guys, is you can nip this thing in the bud right at the beginning, like Damian's done.
It's really simple. It's really simple. I'll give you the answer.
Go.
A, provide the evidence that constitutional statute, right, only provide the case law, provide the evidence, burden of proof. They've made that claim, right? You and I understand that it protects your civil rights. Back there again. And what they are doing is a civil rights violation, but it's also something else. They breached constitutional law. It's a breach of the rule of law. There are 3 things that you can get these people on: a breach of contract, a breach of duty, a breach of the rule of law. And they breached 2 of those by breaching the rule of law because they've not followed due process. And they're saying that a superior constitutional statute is only criminal. No, it's civil. And then you can put alongside that the Coronation Oath Act 1688, where it says your spiritual and civil rights. The Bill of Rights, 1688, the Coronation Oath Act 1688, they were made to limit the power of our public servants. William and Mary, they were the highest ranking public servants, to limit the power of public servants in government. That's it. So everything they do is a civil rights violation or a property rights violation or both. It's that simple. So okay, provide me the evidence of what you're saying. They can't. And tell them.
It literally doesn't exist. Sorry, it literally doesn't exist. And then the other thing just to say is it's all grants and promises of fines, not just some of them, all grants of promises of fines and forfeitures. So when you're asking them for the evidence and you're just re-establishing the fact that it says all of these, they go away. They
It's
can't
civil
come
and
back.
criminal. And you've got the act that stands beside it with, to say, look, spiritual and civil rights and properties. So with regards, on the council tax, like I said, I was on a Zoom meeting last night till late with the excellent brother and sister team, Liesl and Simon, two wonderful people. One is a absolute legendary data cruncher and researcher, Simon, and Liesl is the sharp legal brain. And I've looked through her council tax suit, which is very, very good. And I've said, look, guys, you've got to simplify this. And I think this is my talent of keeping things very simple, because people do overcomplicate things. And that's taking nothing away from what she's written. But I was able to find in 5 minutes the key element of her suit, which she had overlooked. And when I showed it to her, she got it immediately. And I'm going to just pull up here for the council tax. Because once again, what are they doing? Right? You don't meet any of the statutory definition of a taxpayer. And if I can't do to you, and you can't do to me, how can they do to you? They can't. Okay? And it comes back, people have to deprogram, right? I've found the commercial element in their statute. It's been misapplied to all of you. Okay, the Local Government Finance Act. Now, it states 5 minutes, because I've not looked at the council tax for a while because I'm so bloody busy doing all these other things, right? And the council pretty much leave me alone. All right, the electoral officers had enough of me, right? The CEO and the other directors there. I marked in there and I made them sign for that talk letter, even though I'd already sent it to the enforcement team and the CEO. But I went in there just to say, hello, it's me. I know how to do this and I'm going to do this. And you guys need to meet me and see my face. And they sent a sniveling director there who was shaking and trying to pass off small talk. Right? Wonderful. You've got to show these people you have no fear. Right? And they know at the top level what they're doing. But anyway, this is
Keep your eyes out for part 2 of this eye-opening legal discussion with Damian. In this upcoming video, Damian dives into the intricate world of legal jargon as he sheds light on the challenges posed by the lack of clear definitions in these terms, making legal interpretations prone to ambiguity. The conversation continues as Damian explores property rights violations, negligence, and the misapplication of statutes to personal property. He emphasizes the importance of proving negligence and violations of civil and property rights, offering valuable insights into potential litigation strategies. And that's not all. The video also delves into telecommunications, council tax, and the violation of constitutionally secured natural rights. Damian shares advice on utilizing freedom of information requests and strategies to hold authorities accountable. Don't miss this thought-provoking video where Damian unravels the complexities of law and rights, challenging the status quo and exploring potential legal actions against authorities. Damian will certainly delight you with his whimsical, enthusiastic, and no BS delivery as he demystifies the confusion and reveals the path to full understanding. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you get notified when the next video is ready, and please join the conversation by dropping a comment below. We love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching and make it a great day. Do you find the legal system overwhelming and wish you had the knowledge and skill sets to control judges, persuade attorneys, and win your case? Well, look no further. Sovereign Empowerment is proud to announce our partnership with Dr. Frederick Graves so that we can bring you the Jurisdictionary Law course, How to Win in Court, your ultimate resource for mastering the courtroom. Unlock powerful case-winning strategies as you learn to control judges like never before. This comprehensive course eliminates guesswork and empowers you to navigate the legal landscape with absolute confidence. With step-by-step instructions, flowcharts, and outlines, you'll have all the tools you need to persuade and control judges in any case or court. Learn from a seasoned attorney with over 40 years of winning experience, who has distilled his expertise into this comprehensive program. Access everything you need in one single package, including sample forms, video seminars, audio clips, and in-depth case-winning classes. Learn at your own pace, anytime, anywhere. Our 24/7 online access allows you to tailor your learning experience to fit your schedule. Access the course on your smartphone, tablet, or computer and become a legal master whenever and wherever you want. Benefit from a suite of powerful tools, including a free online legal research tool, a legal dictionary with common sense definitions, and an exclusive Q&A forum to connect with fellow students and obtain expert guidance. Good people have suffered too long at the hands of power because they just didn't know how to fight back. Now, in a matter of just a few days, you can acquire the tools and knowledge that takes law students years to achieve. Can't afford a lawyer? No problem. With the Jurisdictionary Law course, you'll gain the skills to win your case without expensive legal representation. Alternatively, equip your own legal consult with the tools and tactics to fight effectively on your behalf. Level the playing field and secure your victory. No matter what court, civil or criminal, conquer any courtroom challenge with ease. This step-by-step guidance ensures a quick and straightforward learning experience, empowering you to navigate the legal system with bulletproof confidence. As a testament to your newfound legal expertise, you'll have the opportunity to complete a final exam and receive an honorary law degree upon successful completion of the course. Showcase your achievement and establish yourself as a force to be reckoned with in the legal arena. Dr. Graves believes everyone deserves access to legal knowledge. That's why we offer the Jurisdictionary Law course at an unbeatable price. For less than the cost of a 1-hour legal consultation, you'll gain unlimited access to this complete program for up to 2 full years. Take control of your legal battles without breaking the bank. How to Win in Court has become the most trusted law course worldwide since 1997. Don't miss out on this exclusive opportunity to gain the upper hand in the courtroom. Enroll in the official Jurisdictionary Law course today and unleash your legal power. Click the link in the description below to become legally empowered today.